KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano Program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Coming up on Prime Time, the CDC places Guam in warning level 3, advising everyone to avoid all non-essential international travel to the island. Plus, the total number of cases on Guam has now surpassed 400, with 14 new cases today. We'll tell you the latest on the governor's amendments to her executive order. And this morning, the Navy released their record of decision regarding training and testing within the Marianas.
Hafide and good evening. Topping our newscast tonight, don't go to Guam. That's the message the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is telling the world. The CDC has placed Guam under its highest travel warning of level 3. Under this designation, it advises everyone to avoid all non-essential international travel to Guam. They say that the outbreak is of higher risk to travelers and no precautions are available to protect against the identified increased risk. According to the CDC, COVID-19 risk in Guam is high. If you get sick in Guam and need medical care, resources may be limited. Following the 52 positive cases COVID-19 this week alone, the governor called a news conference to announce amendments to her executive order to avert a healthcare crisis before it begins. Our Nestor Lecanto reports.
Effective Saturday at 6 p.m., bars are ordered to close for the next 2 weeks. Public gatherings, both outdoor and indoor, will revert back to just 25 people, and funerals will be limited to just 10 people and immediate family. The governor says that's where they believe some of the increased spread is coming from, and she made sure to point out that the majority of the recently infected were under the age of 50, and more than a third were in their 20s.
It doesn't discriminate against age, gender, race. It is a very serious, very contagious virus, and I want the younger generation people to really take it very seriously. And not think that just because they're young that they won't get this spread or they won't get this infection and they won't get sick.
Despite that, she is not calling for any delay in the start of the new school year, which is planned for the 17th.
Of course, if we feel or if I feel that maybe a delay might be in the works, we will certainly relay that to the superintendent, but as of now, we are following the superintendent's recommendation and his plan.
The bottom line, says Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, is it's going to be the parents' choice.
From the get-go, the option is to give parents an opportunity to have online learning for their children and for the decision-making to be part of that based on the situation of their individual households and their capacity of their children.
The governor also announced that public health is shifting another 30 personnel to contact tracing, and it has enough capacity for continued testing. Otherwise, she remains confident the protocols are working.
Please make sure that you wear your mask. This is the vaccine of our island right now against COVID-19. Social distance, and also wash your hands. You know the drill. We've been doing this now for 5 months.
The governor also made clear that she intends to extend the public health emergency when her current declaration expires on the 29th. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
And the island is continuing to see a surge in COVID-19 cases. According to the latest situation report, there are 14 new cases out of 485 samples. Of the new cases, 12 cases were from public health, one was from DLS, and one from Guam Memorial Hospital. Of the 14, one case had recent travel to the continental U.S. and was identified in a quarantine facility. 8 cases were identified through contact tracing, and 1 case through community screening. To date, this brings total to 411, with 5 deaths, 85 active cases, 321 recovered, and 4 currently hospitalized. And more businesses have come forward to announce COVID-related cases. Coast 360 announces today that its Mighty location is closed for deep cleaning and sterilization until further notice. The closure was prompted after an employee at their Mighty member center was exposed to an individual that recently tested positive for coronavirus. According to a media release, the employee is self-isolating and will be tested. All other employees that were in close contact are also self-isolating as further guidance is received. Coast 360's Dedido and Tamuning member centers remain open, along with online, mobile, and ATM channels. Health Shack also announced on its social media that a staffer tested positive. They too have temporarily closed as all staff will be tested and continuous sanitization will be conducted. And earlier this week, a 40-year-old Chuukese man was found unresponsive in government quarantine facility, the Ocean View Hotel. Adelup confirmed the death was not COVID-19 related, as his test results came back negative for the virus. However, it was determined he may have had underlying health conditions. And father and daughter duo in quarantine are speaking out for help on KUAM's multimedia show The Link, as Army veteran David Espinosa is in need of medical attention while in quarantine. KUAM's Adriana Cotero shares their story.
And I'm not going to stand by and, watch my father die.
Donna Espinosa and her father, David Espinosa, who is a retired Army veteran, arrived back home on Guam on August 5th, only to find out they would have to undergo a 14-day quarantine at Gov Guam facility Ocean View Hotel.
The Guam VA did not tell us anything. When we were in Hawaii, no one told us anything about being quarantined here at Ocean View Hotel. It was just a surprise when we came to the airport.
The duo was off island for 2 days, having traveled to Honolulu for David's regular medical checkup. David has cardiovascular health concerns. He's had open heart surgery. Additionally, he is a diabetic. Donna says while at the airport, she told authorities, including the National Guard, of her father's medical conditions.
They were asking, everything, what he can eat, what he can't eat, And I even asked them, if we get to the hotel, will he be served, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And they told me yes.
Upon arriving at the hotel around 11 o'clock in the evening, Donna asked if she could receive a dinner meal for her dad, who had yet to take his medicine or eat since departing Hawaii. She says it wasn't until 1 a.m. that David received food from the National Guard. However, it was not a dinner meal.
But instead of dinner, they end up delivering snacks like hot Cheetos.
Diabetes.
Right, candy.
And that's
crackers,
not good for your diabetes.
And that's
Right.
not good for him, to be eating.
I was surprised here in Guam. I know everything is under roof, but the problem is I got a health problem. I have to eat the way the medication want me to eat, but they gave me candy and cake. I cannot eat that too sweet. That's bad for my diabetic. So they don't care.
KUAM reached out to the National Guard as they are in charge of manning the quarantine facilities. Spokesperson Mark Scott told KUAM on The Link this morning that this is unacceptable and he plans to dedicate his time to figure out why this has happened. Scott later this afternoon says the medical concerns, quarantine mandates, and meals are under the purview of the public health. And David is not only concerned for his own well-being, but pleads to the government of Guam to provide the necessary care.
I think right now is I'm under God protection now. That's why I'm still alive. This has got to be stopped for another patient.
Both David and Donna have to wait for their test results to come back negative before they can be released from quarantine. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Late this afternoon, Guam National Guard PIO Mark Scott confirms the Espinosa's test results came back negative and they were released to home quarantine. And this morning, the Navy released its record of decision to continue with the Mariana Islands training and testing, opting for Alternative 2, marking an increase in activities. Residents in the region have expressed strong opposition. Training and testing within the Mariana Islands training and testing area will continue at sea and on Farallon de Mediniza. That's according to the Navy's record of decision after a release for public comment, a supplement to the 2015 MIT Final Environmental Impact Statement. Of the 3 options it considered, they write that Alternative 2 is preferred because it allows for the greatest flexibility for the Navy to maintain future readiness. It had an option to take no action. The decision includes all activities under the first alternative, which consists of increased levels of training and testing. It would bring new vessels, aircrafts, and weapon systems. The decision also notes that it assumes that the maximum number of fleet exercises would occur annually. Activist Sinta Kaipat from the Northern Island says the news is alarming.
It's very disheartening to see what they have chosen to do, because it seems like no matter what we say or do, they're just going to pretend that they are listening to the concerns of the community, when in fact it's just using us as a way to just tick off their list.
The decision also notes 10 pages of responses to public comments from Guam and CNMI governments and residents. A number of those listed raise concerns for marine mammals, habitats, and lack of data.
We're constantly being forced to put up with all these destructions. I mean, we still have a lot of live ordnance from World War II that they have not cleaned up thoroughly. And we still have toxic contamination all over our islands. And yet they're hell-bent on bringing more poison and destruction.
Saipan resident Isa Areola echoes the concern.
They're having more anti-submarine warfare exercises. They're talking about a 50% increase in unit level events, missile exercises, surface to air missile exercises. We have no clue how that's going to impact us, for generations to come. We really want to move away from being just kind of a reactive component in this overall process, right? Like when a document comes out, we don't want to just react. We want to be a part of the process.
Representative Sheila Babato wants to elevate local voices and agencies for a direct line to the Navy moving forward.
We understand that comments were received by the community, but as you can see in the record of decision, the Navy's response was almost a blatant disregard.
JRMC did not respond to KUAM for comment as of news time. And Guam's Magahaga is expressing strong concern over the Navy's record of decision, moving forward with the Mariana Islands training and testing plan, opting for Alternative 2, which is their preferred choice, but also one that will bring increased activity to the region.
But we are also in communication about the consistency of policies in relation to the programmatic agreement. And I know that we are going to be in discussions, even more so in terms of our concerns about the sonar radar effect on the mammals.
And Naval Criminal Investigative Services, or NCIS, along with the Criminal Investigative Divisions, are investigating an incident that occurred on Naval Base Guam. According to a media release at around 11 o'clock on Thursday, a man was observed driving through the gate at Big Navy unauthorized. Access to all Naval Base Guam installations were immediately secured. The man has not been identified other than he is a civilian. Again, the case remains under investigation. And before we head back into break, a quick update on tax refunds. DRT and DOA will be mailing out 1,210 tax refund checks this week, the checks totaling a little over $3.8 million. These checks include refunds that were garnished to repay Gov Guam debts. They are error-free returns. There are 4 error-free returns filed on or before February 4th, 2020. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Get up.
With Grand Marnier, you'll dare to put a twist on the traditional. That will lead you to somewhere unexpected. Somewhere you can create something better than good. Here, you'll create something grand. Grand Marnier, a visionary blend of fine cognac and bitter orange liqueur. Live grand.
At the mall, as you enjoy shopping, dining, or entertainment, you could also win 3 great cars from Atkins Kroll and thousands of prizes in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game. Present your mall receipts and have a chance to win the 3rd car, the head-turning Lexus ES350 Luxury. Getaways to Manila, courtesy of Philippine Airlines. Plus, prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. Virtual drawing date 10 a.m. August 22nd. Watch live on Micronesia Mall Facebook. Play and win in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years,
Calvo's Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
After only a year and a half in Congress, Michael San Nicolas stands out for being one of 6 members in Congress that the bipartisan House Committee on Ethics is investigating this term. He also stands out for having the worst voting record this term, missing almost 52% of votes he could have cast for Guam. San Nicolas stands out for getting national coverage for himself and Guam on ABC News, The New York Times, Fox News, The Washington Post, and more. The investigation is examining if San Nicolas converted campaign funds for personal use, accepted improper campaign contributions, filed false reports with the Federal Election Commission, made false statements to government investigators, and improperly interfered or attempted to interfere in a government investigation. Here at home, San Nicolas stands out for refusing to comment on the investigations and not explain missed so many votes. We can't afford to take another chance on Michael San Nicolas.
I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. Governor's Communications Director Janela Carrera is moving to the Department of Public Health. Adelope Press Secretary Crystal Paco San Agustin says effective Monday, Carrera will be employed as a special projects coordinator who will focus on COVID-related issues. She'll be working directly under DPHSS Director Art San Agustin. The position is unclassified with salary at $61,000. No word yet as to who her replacement will be. At today's media briefing, Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio said there are now 81 individuals at the homeless shelter in Mighty, including 21 children. He says the administration will continue to expand capacity as a global dorms contract is renewed.
The answer is yes, and this contract will continue to be renewed for the foreseeable future. The commitment that the governor and I have are to provide permanent emergency shelter capacity, while we continue to build out options for families and individuals to transition into other types of housing.
He added the service agreement with Catholic Social Services was also renewed. And the CNMI recorded one more confirmed case of COVID-19 late last night. According to the CNMI's COVID-19 task force, the new case is a returning CNMI resident who was screened upon arrival at the Saipan airport. This brings the CNMI's total case count to 47 since March. Of that figure, about half of all recorded cases were identified through port of entry screenings. Pleading not guilty during her arraignment hearing, Vavna Kumari Demai made an initial appearance in Magistrate Judge Marco Berdalio's courtroom this morning. The indictment was unsealed this week, charging Demai with conspiracy to distribute methamphetamines, possession with the intent to distribute meth, and notice of forfeiture. Court documents state that from January 1st, 2019 to July 5th, 2020, Demai conspired to distribute 50 or more grams of meth. The Fed seized over $32,000 today. Today, the court granted her release from custody on conditions. Demai must report to probation for drug testing and cannot consume any alcohol. Additionally, she must turn over her passport. Trial was set for October 14th. And today, conservation groups sued the Environmental Protection Agency for failing to clean up asthma-causing sulfur dioxide air pollution in areas to include Cabras and Petey, Evangeline Parish, Louisiana, Huntington, Indiana, and San Juan in Guayama in Puerto Rico. The Clean Air Act requires the EPA to identify and set national standards to protect human health and the environment from air pollutants. Once the federal agency determines that an area's air pollution exceeds the national standard, it must ensure that states and U.S. territories have valid plans in place to clean up that pollution. But it has failed to do so in these areas, which are home to more than 500,000 people. According to the EPA, exposure to sulfur dioxide air pollution harms human health in as little as 5 minutes and can cause asthma attacks as well as other harm to the lungs and cardiovascular system that can be fatal. These health impacts compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic. Financial relief may be on the way for the University of Guam students saddled with federal loans. Attorney General Lieven Camacho joined nationwide bipartisan effort by state attorneys general to urge the U.S. Senate to forgive the debts.
The CARES Act already provides relief to student borrowers whose finances were impacted by the pandemic, but only for loans owned by the federal government. In a news release, AG Camacho said he and 31 other attorneys general nationwide are supporting the forgiveness of millions of dollars in other loans owned by private entities. He said, quote, "We are calling on Congress to ensure that all federal student loan borrowers receive relief and to consider long-term solutions for those living with student debt." Meanwhile, University of Guam President Thomas Christ says he supports the move, even though not too many UOG students are affected.
It's not as much of a problem locally. Nationally, we have, particularly public universities, there's been a massive disinvestment in public higher education. So most of the states, it's been plummeting. And so the cost of that is that individual people have taken on more and more debt. So it's about 2/3 of students in the US take out some kind of a loan. The average amount that group gets or takes out is about $30,000.
Nationwide, there are nearly 8 million borrowers whose federal student loans are owned by private entities. The CARES Act relief is set to expire on September 30th. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
And coming up, in case you missed it, how we can help our friends over at Island Girl Power. Keep it here.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
No matter what size adventure you're into, it's better in a Hyundai. And introducing the Venue, the newest member of the Hyundai SUV family.
My child, Ekongo, listen. The winds are singing. The ocean is roaring. And the trees are dancing. Our island is moving once again. In Aphomolik, our unity has carried us through the stillness of today. And now, the spirit of Hafaday is yearning for our friends to come home.
Nana, is it time to bring all our friends back now?
Hungen, yes. It's time for the world to give us a moment together.
We have the power to improve the schools our kids learn in, the roads we drive on, the healthcare we receive, and the opportunities for more jobs. By responding to the 2020 census of Guam, we can uplift future generations by providing them with the resources they need to grow as a community. Together, we can make a difference. Respond today.
Welcome back. This morning, Bree and Chris spoke with Island Girl Power Executive Director Juanita Blas on how the nonprofit is calling on the community for assistance.
There's only a handful of volunteers that come in 2-3 days a week. And we got to get the thrift store into a better condition so that we can open. We haven't been open since COVID. And people, you know, they want to donate. They want to donate, but we can't accept any donations. We were overloaded to begin with. The facility is small. we have to, practice new sanitation requirements and everything, because donations coming in need to be able to be sanitized no matter what, no matter who it's coming from. And that's a hard message for the community to take. But we have very little space, but we've had to keep the air cons on. We've had to keep the center functioning, or everything will mold and the equipment will get bad. So the power bills, the water bills, the phone bills keep going, but our revenue, that thrift store, has been closed.
So what are you asking people to do? Just make monetary donations?
Online donations, yes. Online donations on our website. So we haven't set up any crowdfunding or fundraisers of that sort, but we do have a PayPal on our website, www.islandgirlpower.com. And there's a donate button, simple, old school, I guess.
Yeah.
And the when they do make the donation, the name of the organization is Continental Micronesia Medical Missions, because that's the original name of Ajuda Foundation.
Right.
Ajuda was started as a medical missions program for Micronesia.
Yeah. Juanita, give us an idea of how much money you need to raise to get you in the clear.
Well, we've been able to do fundraisers with plant sales and wonderful partners that have been donating. But our average bills for the month, I think, come out to about $2,000 a month. And it's just a matter of keeping the utilities going until we can get a handle on the thrift store opening again. And when we open, it's probably going to be for a couple days a week, because even our volunteers, the numbers are rising of COVID again, and those are priceless, very priceless, valuable volunteers, and they're just as nervous about everything. I'm on Sing Song Road, and this is real. This sirens all the time.
Right. Yeah.
So what about the programs? Are you guys still offering programs to the girls? Or are you guys closed?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can you give us a report? You see anything over there? What's going on?
Everything's okay. It's just passing.
Are those cop cars or ambulance? Ambulance, okay.
No, it's the ambulance. It's the ambulance.
Right, you gotta make the sign of the cross. Yeah, I know. Man, you took me back to my...
Sorry, what was that? Sabrina, what were you saying?
Programs.
Yeah, are you guys still your program's still up and running?
Well, we've done a lot of changing of how we facilitate our projects. We did a lot during COVID. We handed out, it was about more than 250 jump ropes at the fence line. So families will just, hear about it online, drive up, pick up jump ropes for their kids.
Cool.
Little family activity kits. We are neck deep in plants, and we've been giving away planting kits. Live Life Happy Garden. It's a way of just helping people with the social and emotional stress that they're going through with COVID. Taking care of plants is a good thing. It's cathartic. And we also have women that donate the masks, make masks, and donate them to us.
Right.
Half is for fundraiser, and then the other half, more than half, we give away.
Right.
And we've been doing that since the beginning of COVID.
For the complete interview and details on how you can assist, head over to youtube.com/KUAM News. Coming up, our Cold Storm Creamery birthday shoutouts.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
When you want to make the most of your time, waiting in line should be last on your mind. Introducing Skip Lino, the most convenient way to visit Docomo Pacific. Simply download the Skip Lino app on your device, Set your region to Guam or Northern Mariana Islands. Find Docomo Pacific and select the location you'd like to visit. Spend less time in line and more time with the people who matter most with the Skip Lino app. Can't wait to see you soon. Docomo Pacific, better together.
We're all in this together, and that means we all need to continue to do our part.
Now, we've all done an effective job of containing COVID throughout the Marianas, but we need to continue to maintain to stop the spread.
We can't let our guard down. Each and every one of us are soldiers in this war against COVID-19, and every day is a battle.
It may sound hard to believe, but combating COVID requires us to hold the line every single day by continuing to practice social distancing, wear a mask, and wash your hands.
If there's anything we've learned these past few months is that things can change within hours. We can wake up in the morning hearing there are 0 positive cases, and by the time we go to sleep at night, we can see a spike.
That's why we urge you to please continue the fight, not just for yourself, but for your family and friends.
We can do this together.
Let's all stay ahead of the spread.
This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Your Friday birthday celebrants get happy birthday wishes led off by Juanita Cruz. Happy birthday from your family, and they say they love you. Peyton Sky, happy birthday number 3. We love you so much. Hope you enjoy your day. Say mommy, daddy, Prince, and Paige. Jamia Aguero, happy 18th birthday, my baby. We love you and wish you nothing but the best. Woohoo! You're 18. Love you to the moon and back. Say mom, Uncle Joey, Jovan, and family. And Aaron Paulino, happy birthday number 17. We love you very much. Say Nino Ricky, Nina Therese, the Iglesias, and Paulino families. And belated birthday wishes going out to Rose Espinoza, born on the 6th. Happy birthday number 76 to Rose from the beautiful village of Santa Rita. Love coming from the family here on Guam and in Las Vegas. Hope each of you had a fantastic birthday.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and your birthday. And it's that time of the week where we announce the winner of a delicious Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake.
And this week's winner, we're very happy and proud to say, is Ken J. Sablan Paulino, who was born on August the 3rd. Ken, you and your family are the new owners, and hopefully not for too long, because you guys are going to completely devour it, a Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake in honor of your birthday. Happy birthday and congratulations.
Congratulations. Our rep will be contacting you on how you can redeem your cake, and that's going to do it for us here on Primetime. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.
Hafre Ali Rananim Kaslele Lengwo Yakwen Mogisin